Your favorite PGA and LPGA legends, pros and top instructors are right here every week on Next on the Tee. Join Chris as the greats of the game share their stories, insights and playing lessons. Now, back to Chris and more of the show.
All right, folks, now back with me on the French Lick Resort guest line is Cindy Miller. Let me remind you a little bit more about Cindy's background. She is from Silver Creek, New York, which is about 45 miles southwest of Buffalo. Played her college golf, as a walk-on, mind you, at the University of Miami. There she became an All-American her senior year and served as team captain and helped Miami win back-to-back NCAA national championships in 1977 and 78. She won the New York State Amateur Championship in 78 as well and qualified for the LPGA Tour in 1979. Played on the tour a few years before she met her husband, PGA Tour pro Alan Miller, who joined me not all that long ago. Cindy competed in 5 U.S. Opens. She's a Class A LPGA professional. She was named LPGA Teacher of the Year in 2010, and Golf Digest has named her as one of the top 50 women teachers in America. She was a contestant on 2 of the Golf Channel's The Big Break season. She was on The Big Break 3, Ladies Only, and Big Break 7 Reunion. 2011, Cindy was inducted into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. She competes regularly out on the LPGA Legends Tour, and on top of all of that, she's, like I say, a great teacher and a wonderful speaker as well, and I'm very excited to have her back with me tonight on Next on the Tee. Hey, Cindy, thanks for coming back on the show.
Well, thank you, Chris. What a great introduction.
I'm glad you like it. So, Cindy, before we get into all the golf stuff, first thing I got to know, your Hurricanes, right? Ranked number 2 in college football. Are you excited about a potential national championship?
Oh, my gosh. Well, you know what's even cooler? 2 Saturdays ago, Alan and I went down there, and Kelly and Ben and Kingsley went, and we had a 40-year reunion for our back-to-back national championships. And we got to go out on the field during a timeout, and we got honored on the field, and it was like big time, which was very, very cool, because when we won national championships, we were lucky if we had any uniforms, because it was so long ago. But we did get golf balls, though. But anyway, It was an absolute thrill. We got to sit in a box, and we just felt like we were really important. And Patty Rizzo was there, and our coach, Norm Parsons, who was the guy who allowed me to walk on the team. And you know what I said to him? I said, you have no idea the fact that you kept your promise and let Cindy from Silver Creek try to qualify for your team. You changed the whole course of my life. And I don't think he really realized that. And I said, I am so grateful for you. Because, well, I wouldn't have met my husband. I wouldn't have played on the tour. Just because he kept his promise. A lot of people don't keep their promises. So I told him I'm so grateful for you. And Rick Remmert, who was there when I was there, he put the whole thing together. He's working for the alumni. So it was just so special. I'm so glad I went. So, yeah, and
good for
the fact
you.
That they kicked Virginia Tech's butt, it was even better, but it was great.
So, Cindy, on the opposite side of that coin, you live outside of Buffalo, and for a minute, it looked like the Bills could be a playoff contender before the wheels fell off over the last few weeks.
Oh, my goodness. Don't even go there, please.
How are folks feeling? How are you feeling about the Bills?
You know, I want to pay attention, and I want to think that things are going to get better. And you know what? Can I be very candid with you? Because that's the only way I know how to be. I teach a couple of the trainers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the trainers said to me, it's very hard to motivate people who make millions of dollars. And I'm not saying they don't care, but boy, oh boy, do they need to be slept around or what?
At 5-2, I thought your boys might have something, but not so much now.
I did too. I really, really, really did. I really did. And it's like something has to break the spell. So I'm almost tempted to pick up the phone and call our new guy and say, let Mama Miller come in there and slap these boys around a little bit. I really think we need to do a personality assessment and a team building. session.
There you go.
I don't think they give a rip, and I want to slap them all. Anyway, so we don't need. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, let's talk a little golf. And
okay.
Cindy, the last time you were kind enough to come on the show, we talked about something new and wonderful that you're working on called Pursue Your It. Give us an update. Talk about what that is, and give us an update on how things are going with that.
Well, I created the Pursue Your It program. It's all about pursuing your passion, your potential, and your purpose in life. And I've got this thing called the It Box. And if you want to see what the box looks like, you can go to pursueyourit.com. And I really have not identified what my target audience is, but I got to tell you, I love working with kids. And I've done a lot of team building for companies, but the kids, I really think we can make a difference. And so I'm doing a pilot program with the Buffalo Promise neighborhood, which is sponsored by M&T Bank in Western New York, in 2 of the worst zip codes in Buffalo. And I went in, and I don't want to talk to somebody who doesn't want to listen. You know what I mean? You got to want to get better. So I told the teachers that what I would like to do is I would like to come in and tell the story of what the It Box is about. And those who choose to move forward have to pick it up and decide, I'm not going to hand it to you. So they had kids apply for coming to the program, and the kids that applied, they did not choose all the best kids. They chose some kids who had trouble, and they told them, this lady's going to come in, and it's kind of like McDonald's wanting to serve a new sandwich, and they want your opinion on how the sandwich tastes. So they all felt very important. And they were 7th graders, and I did it last spring. So I told the story, and it was about 20, 25 minutes long, and I explained what was in the box, and I said, now if you choose to pick it up, I will help you pursue your it. And the director of curriculum said, well, tell us what you think was important about Mrs. Miller's story. And one little girl raised her hand, and she says, I think it's important that you were willing to discuss how there was domestic violence in your house growing up. I thought, okay, that's cool. And this little boy raised his hand, and he said, I think it's cool that you were willing to discuss your husband's depression and how he tried to commit suicide. I said, okay, that's good. And then the third little girl, Jayla, who told me she didn't have a dream, because I asked them, what's your dream? She said, I don't really have a dream. And she said, I think it's really good that you were willing to share the story about how you had to run through the snow in your bare feet to get away from your father because he thought he was going to kill you, and you were running down to the police station. She says, because I think kids need to know that the police are okay. Wow. And I thought, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. So I created an online assessment and for kids, and I had them all take the online. They all said they wanted to do it. They said, we're in. I go, well, you can't quit on me. You got to want to do this. And they said, we will. So they took an online assessment, and then I went back in and I explained to them their behavior styles, who's a high D that's driven and, really wants to win and very competitive, who's a high I, who I's are influencing, they like to talk a lot, they typically lose things, who was an S who's steady and quiet and shy, and who was a C who's very conscientious and analytical and detail-oriented. And I said, can you relate to, let's say Miss Chamberlain, your teacher? What do you think she is? Oh, she's definitely a C. And I said, well, who's the high I's in the room? And they raised their hand. I said, so why do you think Miss Chamberlain drives you nuts and you drive Miss Chamberlain nuts? And they were like, oh, my God. So everybody was laughing, and Miss Chamberlain was laughing. So really what it does is it exposes elephants that nobody wants to talk about. So it was the end of the school year, and we couldn't finish. So I met with the teacher and the curriculum development coordinator, in the summer, and I said, I really want to keep doing this if you guys want to do it. And they said, absolutely, definitely. And the funny thing is Dennis, the one who was not the best kid, walked into Miss Chamberlain's office and said, hey, when's that white lady coming back again? So I said, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. So I was just with them Monday. The school principal said, oh, my gosh, these kids love this. We're going to have them get bussed out to the Dome and get a free golf lesson, and we're going to give them a lesson, Alan and I. That wasn't supposed to be part of it. This has nothing to do with golf. This is above and beyond golf. It's about people that just want to get better at life. But I have to tell you a real cool story. So 2 weeks ago we were there, and I said, okay, you guys remember what we did in the spring? I said, so what do you really want to do and be when you grow up? So Janae wants to be a TV analyst, so we videotaped her and, said, here we are, Westminster Community Charter School, and she was really cool about it. And I said, Dennis, what do you want to be? And he said, well, I want to be an NFL player. And I go, oh, really? I said, what position would you like to play? He goes, well, I'm going to be a running back. I go, oh. I said, do you know? I said, what was C.J. Spiller? And he said, oh, a running back. And I go, you know what we should do? We should take a selfie with all of us, and I should text it to C.J. Spiller. And Dennis looks at me and goes, you don't have his phone number. I go, oh, Dennis, don't underestimate me, honey. So we take this, oh, this is awesome. We take this selfie, right? He goes, oh, everybody make a C and a J with your fingers, right? So we do, and we look goofy. And I go into my phone. He goes, oh, my God, she's got his number. So I text him, and I said, oh, my gosh, I miss you. How are you? Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, he's not going to respond. And I said, Dennis, how much you want to bet that he responds before this class is over? He goes, $10. I said, Dennis, you don't even have $10. I said, I wouldn't do that. 2 minutes later, C.J. Spiller responds. How are you? I miss you. I need to come to Buffalo and visit you. And I said to these kids, and they went nuts. They went nuts. And I said, now, why do you think I'm friends with C.J. Spiller? And they said, well, I don't know, maybe you were nice to him. And I said, why do you think he's willing to text me back? And they said, well, because he trusts you. And I said, why do you think I was willing to tell you my gory story from growing up? And they said, because you trust us. I said, you're absolutely right. So that's how my program's going.
That's an amazing group of stories. Good for you. Good for those kids. So for people that now have just learned about Pursue Your It, and whether they're up in the Buffalo area or not, how can they get themselves involved and learn more about it?
They can email me. They can go to the website, so go to pursueyourit.com. They can email me, Cindy@pursueyourit.com, or Cindy@cindymillergolf.com. Again, I've got a few different schools that want to do it. I did an event with Big Brothers Big Sisters last Tuesday. I had one of the Buffalo Bills camera guys. I paid him on the side. I said, Simon, you got to come film this, because our daughter, which you know, works for Golf Channel, and she's Jimmy Roberts' producer for the Olympics. And I said, I really want Kelly to make me a feature video, and hopefully Jimmy Roberts will voice it over for us, because we need to raise money. I've been doing it all by myself. We've had a few people donate some money, and I'm very grateful for them. We need to raise money because what these kids do is they take these assessments. Now, I paid a technical guy to create a youth profile, but I found a company that has a youth profile that does what motivates these kids to action. So not only do you need to know your behavior style, but you also need to know what motivates you. Like, are you motivated by being nice to people? Do you want power? Do you like being unique? Do you want a return on investment? Do you like artistic things? Everybody's motivated by something different, and there's 7 specific motivators, and I'm certified in all this stuff. But these kids, once they learn about themselves, and they can learn to discern what others are, all of their relationships are going to be better. So go to pursueyourit.com. If you want to donate, you can click on donate. If you want scoop on how you can learn how to pursue your it, or you would like me to come talk or do whatever, just Cindy at pursueyourit.com.
So, Cindy, like you mentioned a moment ago, you've talked a little bit about some snippets of stories about your life and your husband's life. There's a book in there somewhere. When is that project going to get started?
You know what's funny is I paid somebody to write the book and no one wants to publish it.
No.
And I just spoke to, I'm not kidding you. And I talked to somebody last week and they told me it was going to cost me $50,000 for them to edit it and publish it. I go, I don't have that much money. So if anybody wants to help me, let me know.
Yes.
Yeah,
we got to start that campaign. That book needs to get out there.
Well, I agree with you. Again, even if it's not just about the golf. Yeah. So.
Yes.
I mean, I've had people say, well, you're not famous enough to write this book. And well, it's not about me. It's about who I'm going to help.
Right. Wow. All right, so there's another campaign. There's 2 campaigns right there we got to get working on. So we'll talk off the air about that. So we've only got a few more minutes of your time tonight, Cindy, and there's a couple of things, a couple other things I wanted to get to. First, and as you and I were talking prior to the show going live, you and your husband Alan, recently on the morning drive together on the Golf Channel, and you were talking about how important it is, and I think this ties into the last thing we were just talking about, but how important it is to know the personality of your son and daughter when you're considering junior golf and who is going to teach them. Talk about how understanding their personality type plays into how the coach that they need, I guess, how they find the coach that they're going to need.
Well, again, I think not only does it help understanding your child's personality, but it will help your relationship with your child, depending on who you are. So Alan's dad was kind of like Earl Woods, a control freak perfectionist, and Alan was more like Freddie Couples or Ernie Els. And so when you have a child like that, they can appear to not care because they're so laid back, whereas Alan would prefer to just hit balls on the range all by himself. And somebody like Christina Kim is going to be walking up and down the range talking to everybody, and the Mr. Quiet person is probably going to say under his breath, why don't you shut up? You are driving me nuts. Or playing golf with Chichi Rodriguez or Lee Trevino, right? And then Jack Nicklaus being totally perfectionist-oriented. So it's not only important for you to know who your child is, it's important for you to know who you are, and then you have to allow your child to play within their own behavior style. So Alan Miller will never play golf like Tiger Woods or Ricky Fowler and go for things. Alan, taking a risk, he might think, I've got a 70-30 chance at making this happen, whereas Cindy would go for it with 50-50 chance. And Alan and Cindy's son, Jamie, would probably go for it if he has a 20% chance. So you have to understand that, because if you don't and you criticize your child, they're going to think something's wrong with them. And the way parents push their children nowadays, it's disgusting. So I feel like I have to save these kids from their parents almost. So it's very, very, very important.
And Cindy, as I mentioned at the top of the show, if it's not already freezing up in Buffalo in the Northeast, it's going to be in a minute. And one of the things that you've talked about here in the past is the importance of muscle memory. And you've got a unique way of practicing indoors during the wintertime using marshmallows instead of golf balls. Talk about how we can practice our golf swings using marshmallows.
Well, you can practice your golf swing using marshmallows, because if you don't brush the ground, the marshmallow's not going in the air. As you witnessed on that morning drive show when I hit poor Damon in the wrong spot. And what a wonderful guy he is, by the way. But, yes, you can practice in the house. And I don't know if you know it, but I did create a Learn to Hit It kit. And this kit comes with a 10-module online course where you can learn how to hit a clean, airborne, and straight on purpose in the comfort of your own home using marshmallows or the foam golf balls that come with the kit. So it's really important that you practice. And you got to get up and move because it gets so cold, you just feel like snuggling on the couch with a blanket with a fire and watching a movie. And you can't do that or you're going to get fat.
Cindy, one more before we let you go, and you and Alan have some boot camps coming up this spring. Talk about what the timing around those and what folks could look forward to learning and being a part of if they sign up for the boot camps.
Well, it's called boot camp for a reason. We've got a junior boot camp that's only got room for one more student. In February at Orange County National, we've got an adult boot camp in February, March, and April. We have breakfast every morning. We practice for 3 hours. We have lunch, and we play golf with you every single afternoon. So for those who really want to learn how to score better and change their game forever, boot camp is the place to do it at Orange County National in Orlando, Florida. And if you want more scoop on that, email me at cindy@cindymillergolf.com.
Cindy, how can our listeners also stay up to date with all the great things you're doing? Reminding you got pursueyourit.com, you got cindymillergolf.com. Talk about all the places online and on social media we can keep track of all the great things you do.
Twitter is at Cindy Miller Golf. Instagram is Cindy Miller Golf. Facebook is Cindy Miller. And probably the best way to find me and to sign up for a newsletter would be to go to cindymillerinc.com, cindymillerinc.com. And you can sign up right there on the front page of the website for our newsletter, and you can keep up to date on all the crazy things that I'm doing.
Cindy, thank you for your time tonight. Hopefully we get the opportunity to have you and also your husband Alan on the show again soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and if I don't get to talk to you between now and Christmas, a Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thanks, Chris. Same to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. Take care. That is
Bye-bye.
the great Cindy Miller. And again, cindymillerinc.com, cindymillergolf.com, at Cindy Miller Golf on Twitter. And the Pursue Your It, folks, is the stories that she just talked about are unbelievable. But the great things that she's doing, to help kids and to be a part of their lives and to change lives, again, always an amazing time getting to spend, whatever we get with Cindy. She's a wonderful human being.